personal debate last night.
The ABC News presidential debate covered major issues, including the...
It didn't cover anything.
Exposing deep differences between the two presidential hopefuls, and it turned personal early in office.
Donald Trump has no plan for you.
She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump.
She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Trump argued the country was safer and more prosperous under his leadership, while Harris repeatedly urged Americans to turn the page on Trump's divisiveness. Greg Clutchton at the presidential debate in Philadelphia.
Many seem to be mildly relieved online for attempting to fact-check President Trump 7 times, often incorrectly. And silent as Kamala Harris repeated false claims about the former president. Also at SRNews.com, Speaker Mike Johnson's opening bid to avert the government shutdown appears doomed to fail in the House this week amid widespread Republican opposition. Running in as well.
Not in the Republican opposition is putting Johnson in the bind. Popularly conservatives pushing for the package that combines FDCR with the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, or SAVE Act. Moderates concerned about the political implications of a shutdown threat so close to the election, and GOP defense officer sounding the alarm about how the half-year stopgap would affect the Pentagon money. Johnson, however, is digging in his heels on the CR plus SAVE Act, about to power ahead with the legislation despite the White House's promise that President Biden veto it. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer planning to bring up an alternative to the stopgap. Bernie Bennett reported.
More layoffs coming at UPS, no word yet on an exact number. The company did reveal it would be adding the cuts made earlier in the year. This is SRN News. California City fights back.
Huntington Beach says it will sue the state over a new law that bars teachers from informing parents if their child is living as the opposite sex in school. City Attorney Michael Gates tells the Daily Signal that legal action is necessary because, quote, the state has been overreaching beyond constitutional bounds for years. It's about time that somebody or someone stands up against it. We're going to do everything in our power to protect our children. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Also, Governor Tim Walz is touting Vice President Kamala Harris's record of promoting the queer trans agenda and pledging that she will continue to do so if elected president. Walz, the Democrat vice presidential nominee, said Harris helped President Biden craft executive orders promoting homosexuality in healthcare, the military, and education. Democrats are counting on queer trans people to...
What's up, Easy Money? How's it going, bro?
This is SRN News. A cold weather forecast offers SRNnews.com.
Looking for the right bank to be your partner? Experience the difference at Southern States Bank. At Southern States Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your partners.
What's up, Martin? Well, you're the second one on because Easy Money came on first, but you're here, Martin D. Good morning to you, and thank you for support the other day. Just fine as red wine. There you go, Easy Money. What's up, brother, family? Pete. Good morning, Ryan. I'll tell the Navajo Nation and everybody and all them everywhere else. You said good morning.
Best chicken around. Fish dinners open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So
We got Sally Toole in the final period this morning.
Jackson Street.
Well, I want to hear from you on this 9/11. Where were you when that happened? And what were you doing at the time that you heard about it? So we'll get into that. Plus the debacle last night.
If you're in need of counseling services, please reach out. We can do in-person and online services.
Put out a light jacket this morning. Yeah, by the midday, you'll be throwing it in your vehicle, Pete.
In office buildings. It's very interesting to note that we have somewhere between $80 and $280 billion of credit that will have to go out to have office buildings refinanced next year. That's a huge amount of money because
already in the truck, yeah.
Very, very low rates, near zero.
That's what I'm saying.
Now they'll have to pay very high rates. Yet we have to keep in mind that the banks have to keep their balance sheets very
warm where you're at? All righty.
That is Perry Johnson's 2 cents on the economy today. For your 2 cents, go to perryjohnson2cents.com and enjoy
Mike
life.
Arnold here from Cowboy the Force. Cowboy the Force is Newland's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowboytheforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
It's scorching hot out there, friends.
Got the
best
wrong.
way to beat the heat is to
Cool
stay
outside,
outside.
warm in the
And
building.
Power Treat in Newton has got you covered.
That's
with
right,
their
it's cool
amazing
outside.
antioxidant alkaline water.
What's up, Martin M? How you doing, brother?
And easy drive-through pickup, and check out their selection of health-boosting options. Stay cool, stay refreshed, stay healthy with Water Tree in Newton. Are you looking for a dog trainer with positive reinforcement to help you bond with your new furry friends, or to have customized training in your own home, or wonderful bird classes? Check out Pits and Pals on their
All right.
page.
I got too much stuff to freeze up this morning. The internet wants to try to freeze up. Let's try to make Ryan mad. I was in New York and providing emergency supplies and services for the wounded. Thank you for your service there, Brother Martin. Oh, you're talking about when? Okay, you were in New York when all that happened back at. I appreciate you starting off, letting me know what happened on 9/11. Thank you. Thank you. That's what. Thank you for starting it off right. Because this is my 9/11 show. We will be talking about the debacle that happened last night a little bit, but we're really going to do mostly. I want to hear about. I want to hear about where you were at when all that happened. Research Project Mockingbird. Let me write that down, Martin M. You know me. I will research. Right here. Hold on. Project Mockingbird. Thank you. All right, let's see. I'm going to write down. Martin D said, in NYC. Pete says he was at work.
Twin-engine plane, possibly a 737 passenger jet, flying into the World Trade Center. It appears
Easy said he was young at the time.
inside the building.
Whisper in my ear.
Yes, indeed, Patriot.
Second tower in America is under attack.
Good afternoon, Elisa. How you doing? People need to remember this. That's why I'm playing it for them. It's been so long that people forgot.
There have been attacks in 2 American cities, New York and in Washington. The trade centers here in New York have been hit by airplanes. In Washington, there is a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. And
Write that down. Pager said I was in college, traveling with the choir school. College, traveling with the choir at school.
There are no words.
Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. These acts of mass murder were
Seen it on
intended to frighten
TV.
our nation into chaos and retreat, but they have failed.
23 years. Yep. How's Toby doing today? Hadn't seen him in a while. Matt. Good morning, Matt.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
I tell you what, that is a sad, sad situation, but we are remembering. We never forget here at RyanORadio Penitentiary. It's September 11th. Yeah, there's so much other news to get into. The debacle from last night, some stuff happened at the Atlanta airport with a semi crash, sports and more, but this is the most important thing today. Plus, we have a great guest, Sally Toole. But first, it's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm your host of the most, Neal, and I am the game, baby. 78,000 plus of you worldwide know it's daggum true. We're all over the RyanORadio media page that's got me on 25 plus different streaming sites, including iHeartRadio as well as Amazon Prime. We're across the RyanORadio Penitentiary there. We're across Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. Good morning to them as well. And we are across 25 radio stations with them, including streaming internet radio stations. We're also, ladies and gentlemen, across the British Columbia Isles of Canada and 99.1 FM WQEE the Key, online, on the air, on Real Radio, and on YouTube. We're everywhere you need to be. And to my haters, I got one thing to say to you. I am the man around here, and you heard the show start off there with a tribute to all of those that were perished in the 9/11 attacks many years ago, 23 years to be exact. And I think a lot of people have forgotten about that. And I'm going to be asking my audience, and I've got a few of them already put it in the feeds here, and I'm going to write it down here for them so I can give their names and what they were feeling at that time. So if you guys remember where you're at, you can put it in the feed or call in at 770-347-9947. I'm going to open the phone lines a little later on this morning before Sally Toole comes on. Sally Toole will be with us in the final period as we're getting ready to head into October next month. She's got a big event coming up in North Georgia. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about Friday the 13th on Friday, which we're going to have a good time on Friday the 13th. But we'll have her in the final period. But this morning, even though we're going to talk about that presidential debacle between the two candidates, even though we're only going to go a little bit into that. Thank you, $RyanShelander, Matt. And I'm going to say hello to all our listeners in just a few moments. This is mostly going to be this morning about 9/11. And it's because I remember what went down when it happened 23 years ago. And it's like Patriot just said, it's hard to believe it was 23 years ago. And I'm going to always do it on whatever for the remainder of my Friday the 13th is coming up, Lisa. always remainder of my life in broadcast radio or wherever I'm doing broadcasting, I will always do a dedication to this day, because the people that lost their lives, the heroes on that one plane that went down in Pennsylvania that kept it from doing any damage where the 4 planes were headed out, the heroes that were on there that gave their lives up, people jumping out of the twin towers. It was, oh man. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible. So it was crazy last night, and I'll get into that later on this morning. We'll talk about that debacle. Will you guys be attending any 9/11 memorial events today? We've got one here in Noonan. I know what's going on. I got to figure out what time it is. I got to be there. Oh, no, it's 7 p.m. tonight. I will be there. 9/11 candlelight visual ceremony at the Veterans Memorial Parkway here in Noonan. I will be doing that one, of course. I'm going to go out there and be a part of that just because hurricane is coming. That's another thing that is hitting. We'll talk about a couple of things there. Also, 2 planes collided in a taxiway in Hartsfield, Jackson International Airport. The Louisiana and Texas are getting ready for the big flooding. And I'll tell you some of the 9/11 stuff that's going on that the vice president and the former president are supposed to be a part of today. We'll get it mostly that, though. Mostly 9/11 stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that thing last night, the debacle last night. But I want to concentrate this show being on 9/11. I know everybody else is going to be 500 million different ways on the 2 children that were fighting last night and trying to say one was better than the other. Not going to get into that. And well, I'll say this about the debate. She got under his skin, and then he said some false stuff about people eating dogs and cats. So, and defending violent people, just like she defended violent people. Yes, they both defended violent people last night. It was all right for me to help these people. No, it's not all right to help anybody that does wrong out. You might as well let the kid go that shot up the school, huh? We'll get into that too. And there's another sad situation there. The 4 kids, or the 4 people's funeral arrangements being set. In Jesus' name, we pray over those families, because nothing was said about that last night, God, in the debate. They didn't worry about that. They just wanted to let everybody know that they had their guns. And it had nothing to do with guns. I wanted to hear more about what we're going to do about school shootings. In Jesus' name, we pray over those families who were damaged in this. Amen. And all the people in that school in North Georgia. That's still hurting me, because those people. Well, if you think, I'm going to go, before we get into the 9/11 stuff, I'm going to give you a scenario. It's like the Chiefs taking on the Ravens in a terrible game. Lamar Jackson over there taunting Patrick Mahomes the whole time to get Patrick Mahomes mad. Patrick Mahomes over there fumbling the ball every 5 minutes. And then the Chiefs saying it was a great game for the Chiefs, and the Ravens saying it was a great game for the Ravens. It was a debacle all around. They did not say anything that was relevant to what I wanted to hear. I was worried about school shootings. That wasn't even brought up. The moderators didn't control people very well. They allowed them to speak over each other when they said they wasn't going to do that. To me, you might as well let an audience be in there, because at least the people would have had fun clapping for the people. Neither one of them are back volley. It was terrible. You guys want me to go over this now? I'll go over it now, because I was trying to do the 9/11 stuff. You want me to go over it now? I'll go over it now. 22 minutes past the hour, 64 degrees here in the metro Atlanta area in Noonan. It was a terrible situation. No controlled speaker over is good. It's spicy. No, it was childish. It was ignorant. And that's not what I wanted to see. Today's 9/11. We're going to dedicate this morning to 9/11 to the people that actually, many people died for on 9/11 23 years ago. They're probably rolling over in their graves about last night. I thought that the questions for the debate were not the right questions, Martin. I wanted to know about school shootings. I could care less about cases. I could care less about what she did in her life or what he did in his life. That was just, to me, I could care less. That's what turned me off about it. It was all about trying to defend themselves when they didn't need to defend themselves to me. I didn't care about what they've done or what was said about themselves. Okay. All I want to know is what they're going to do for me. And that's all that's why it was a debacle. What are they going to do for us? And as an independent, there's more independent voters out there. Just like watching a football game. If I was watching a bad football game between the Chiefs and the Ravens, and then I hear that, well, the referees helped the Ravens when the referees didn't even know what they were doing. I don't think there'll be a civil war because you don't want to be killed by Patriot. You don't want to be killed by automatic tanks and drones, do you? Because that's just what they'll do. They won't send any people out to shoot us. I don't want anything to go on. There won't be a civil war. Don't let it get you guys. 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 Now the moderators I don't think we're smart enough to gang up on him. I think it's like it's like I said, watching a football game and you're a Chiefs fan and Patrick Mahomes kept fumbling the ball because Lamar Jackson on the other side with the Ravens got under his skin. And he was over there doing little dances, doing a little dance. And that was embarrassing, and doing a little dance and saying little things, jabs. And then he's over there, and then Patrick Mahomes dropping the ball, and both teams fans are like, my team did good. Nobody did good last night. They were all terrible. I don't know what you watched last night. You think everybody's just out to get him, don't you? I said that they wasn't doing a good job. I think that you're too infatuated with one person or the other. I don't think people are using their intelligence anymore. I think people are just mad and if my guy gets picked on or my girl gets picked on. See, Kamala didn't do good at all either. They were not, what I was saying, ABC's moderators didn't ask the right questions. They weren't doing the right things. They were just doing the same BS that I said for them not to do. All they did both was lie. Neither one deserves to be president, says, but why? Thank you. This was 9/11 show. I want to start off that, but good God. He's going to be older in 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Polly says Trump knew that before the debate. Oh, that the people were going to ask those questions. Yeah, well, still, they didn't need to ask those questions. In my opinion, I just want to know, what are you going to do? If it had been me moderating, and look, you can't really be mad too much because that one guy kept calling him, the David guy, he kept calling him president. So, he respected him in that sense. So. Conspiracy. Here's the thing. If Bluffer, what questions is what I'm saying? There was no questions last night. What questions was she given? Ollie said it's better than CNN. Yeah, it was better. Well, look, I don't think it needs to be on any kind of network that defends anybody. You know, we need Ted Cruz. Yes. Thank you, Bob. I mean, Patriot. I like him too. Whoops, did I say that out loud? The problem is, here's the thing. The problem is they were up there to answer questions, and the moderators are like, hey, guys, you don't like her and he don't like you. And it's like, what, huh? No, it's supposed to be, what's your opinions on school shootings? They didn't even talk about that. Okay. The moderators didn't ask the right questions. So that's why I guess you would feel that they were teaming up on him. They didn't ask the right questions. No real issues. That's right, Martin M. They didn't ask the right questions. Well, he was flustered. He didn't do that well, brother. I know you like him, but he didn't do that well. He didn't. I don't want to offend anybody, and they think they're going to come and beat down the door and get mad at me and beat me up or whatever. But he didn't do that well. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a debacle all around. The moderators didn't ask the right questions. I think we need SpongeBob SquarePants for president. Thank you, but why? That's a Georgia boy right there. We all feel the same way. They didn't ask the right questions. They want to ask same stupid questions over. They want to bring up what both of them did wrong. They kept having to cut both of them off. And to me, if you're gonna go in a sense that, to me, why ask questions? Let them speak. They had to have their opinions. Let them speak. You know, I would have just said, all right, if we're going to talk about this, and bringing up things that have nothing to do with this election, it really got me. I really don't care. I think it's rigged, the election. Thank you, Martin D. Well, they have both lied, but one lied a little bit more than the other. The debate sucked. Because if you think that arguing and fussing and cussing at one another and calling each other names is a debate, then you forgot Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter. I go back to that. Look, even the last one with Biden, Trump and Biden got along better. And even he brought up Biden, wanting Biden there. He really wanted Biden there. I felt like that. But yeah, we are living in the matrix, isn't we? Aren't we? That's what I say. But it was terrible. But Wise says he wants to get in here. Why didn't Trump's ear look any different than the other one? I have no earthly idea. Well, he did lie about people eating dogs and cats in Ohio. Okay. Where'd that come from? In recent days, social media had buzz with a story circling around hating immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, that were supposedly caught stealing and eating pets, cats and dogs. Local police and government officials said that they have nothing to back that up. She irritated him so bad that he said that. And look, I'm going to be honest, she was being a little bit of a cellar dweller there last night, which caused him to get mad. She was saying things. He didn't have to respond, because if you believe that it didn't happen, then he didn't have to respond. I wouldn't have responded. I just went on and said, this is what I'm going to do. No, it's not true, Uwe. You guys have to stop listening to conspiracy. This is what happened to that dumbass up in Georgia that didn't listen to the FBI, and then his son shoots up a school, injuring 9 people and killing 4 people because they think that all this stuff is real. No, you're right. They don't belong there. They should be taken out. And that should have been the main thing, that they came across the border and they should be put out there. It's not real. It's not real. I looked it up. It's not real. If you guys think it's real, I think I'm gonna have to pray for you. You don't spread. Well, it's not good. You say don't spread conspiracies. Are you telling them don't spread conspiracy? I hope that's what you tell them. Don't spread lies. Okay. Just because something came out of his mouth didn't mean he meant it. He was just pissed off. Because she was being a cellar dweller, irritating him. That's exactly what happened. He couldn't get what he needed to get out, and she kept bugging him. And that wasn't right. I would have said, hey, please, Vice President, let him speak. Well, look, it's not real, because QAnon conspiracy nut theories are people like me messing with people that are on dope and messing with them and making them think that something's real that's not. People that are saying all that stuff are just trying to make money. They're lying to you. Don't let them lie to you. There's nobody eating cats and dogs over there. But you're right. They shouldn't be in our country in the first place without it being legalized. We won't have a radical change. It's not going to happen. Americans are not going to let that happen. None of them are going to let that happen. So we don't have any 9/11 events here, but spending a day. Oh, you're going to be spending a day about it? Yep. I want to get into that because that's more important to me. But gummies are good. Gummies are good for you. But if you take too many of them and you're seeing that pink elephant in the corner, you probably need some help. She did. She got under his skin. I saw it. Yep. I did like when he said to her, he was talking. Sounds familiar. Exactly. Exactly. I know that's how you feel, Brother Patriot, but I don't think we got a radical change. I think Americans are not going to let it happen. I really just don't think it's going to happen. You think so? Where do you get this conspiracy that if she gets in as president, that America will secede, will not exist? People that have that mindset, guys, you got to go get some help. Where are you getting this information from? If you're saying you're getting it from some guy that's sitting in his house spreading these lies, and since he's not mainstream media, he's got to be telling the truth. I don't know where you're getting this from. That's what I want to know. He just said she was a Marxist. That's what Trump said. He didn't say she was a radical globalist. So I want to correct that so that he doesn't get blamed for that either. I don't like that. That was the whole thing. There was nothing but a blame game going on last night. It will get to the boiling point, but I hope I'm wrong. I pray that you're wrong, brother. I don't think. And she said she won't be coming after our guns because she said her and her VP have their own guns. So I don't think all that. I think all that is just stuff that you're hearing online. You got to stop letting it be a portion of what happens. You know, you got to stop letting, neither one of them did good, in my opinion. It was a debacle. It wasn't a debate. Go back and watch Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter. I will not be eating bugs and be happy. I'm sitting here explaining news, and you're trying to bring conspiracy theories into this that people made up that's messed up your mind. I'm not a little slow. I'm the most intelligent person you'll ever meet, my friend. You are somebody who lives in an imaginary conspiracy world. Lizard people are not real. Okay? Aliens are not real. The government's not coming to get you. Are you going to shoot somebody? Are you going to pick up your gun and shoot somebody because you don't like them? Conspiracies are not real. None of them have been proven real, buddy. And if you say they have, you've been reading liars. Now, Martin says the Democrats always say they aren't coming after our guns, but the background checks is what he's saying. And but then we had Randall on yesterday that said we already had all that. But yeah, I'm talking about the imaginary conspiracy theories. Ooh. I've looked up some of that stuff. If you look up stuff and you Google it and it's online, everything online is not real. I'm telling you, please don't let them do this to you, brother. I'm trying to help you out. Too many people out there. This was supposed to be a 9/11 tribute. Now it's turned into a conspiracy theory show about things that are not real. And I got to go to a break. I want to get back into what's important, 9/11. But none of it's been proven. Background checks should be there. They protect us. As Captain Lab Hog. Well, they already have background checks. So that's as far as it needs to go. People that responsible adults with AR-15s should be allowed to have those. I agree. That's what I say. But last night was a debacle, and I'm done with it. Cats and dogs being taken and eaten. Supposedly invadings of burning down cities, capitals. Cellar dwellers irritating people and not letting them speak. It was just a debacle all around. Back in a moment. We're going to talk about 9/11, which is what is important. I didn't say that. I ain't saying nobody else needs to be harmed. You're trying to, you're too far to the right and you're worshiping a man, and there's something wrong with you when you go that far. There's something wrong with you when you think that other people out here that I didn't say that. Other people out here keep on saying there's going to be a civil war. And I say there's not going to be a civil war. There's never going to be a civil war. Only people want a civil war are Proud Boys. You just want to argue. You don't want to talk. I do read. There ain't no such thing as a reset. That's called an imaginary conspiracy theory, bro. People that believe that minds are so messed up. They're so messed up. Because let me tell you something. The only person that can save you is Jesus Christ. And if you don't believe that, then you are going to trust a man. There's something wrong with you. Well, what are you saying? You're saying that, yes, you did. You are saying bull stuff, brother. You sitting there saying that if she gets in, this country is going to be turned into a socialist country or whatever it is. Whatever they say about her, it's not true. No, she becomes president. She might not even know how to run the country very well. That's what I say. Klaus Schwab looking maybe runs. Well, WEF don't always mean it's true. People have been thinking there's communism in this country since our elder statesmen have went over and beat the mess out of Hitler. Good morning, Captain Outbuns. I said it was a debacle all around last night. I said that the moderators didn't ask the right questions. I'm not a fool. I'm the most intelligent person you ever met, boo. Well, then why do you fight so hard for him? Why do you fight so hard for him? Why do you not want to discuss like everybody else in here wants to discuss and ask questions about this, that, and the other and say, why is this going to happen? Why is that? Why do you want to just say it's going to happen? Because I'm intelligent, man. I don't keep telling myself. I'm not an uneducated person that dropped out of high school and disbelieves and believes that the FBI is coming to get me and then let my son shoot somebody like that idiot did up in North Georgia. Audio weapons are weapons, Bolly. I disagree with that. They have every right to have whatever they want. They have every right to have whatever they want. I don't say anybody can't have their guns. But if you disagree, that's fine. I'm not telling you not to. Captain Lap Hog says, I'm a Kamala supporter. I'm here for his show. Thank you. No, you understand what conspiracy theories are being said. Now you need to learn how to, you need to go get a therapist. Go get a therapist and stop listening to one person lie to you. We're not having a civil war. Nope. What did Redbeard said? He tired. Asked the UK how the knife violence. I said that already last week. What's that got to do with? Yeah, we don't have to. Are you saying that to Bali? Because I've already said that and took up for that last week. You say guns are the issue, as my point says, Redbeard. Oh, okay. Aren't issue. No. They're not the issue. But some idiot believing that the government's out to get them, not trusting them, not watching their kids, and that debacle we had last night is debate on a sacred day. We're arguing on a sacred day. This is 9/11. This is a sacred day. That's right. United we stand, divided we fight. We are together.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of the 45's Affair Radio.
They're not out now. Now what you said right there makes sense, Redbeard. They're not out to serve the people. That's right. But they're not out. We're not people, and the people out here that barely making a living are not that important to them that they're gonna, come after them. Yeah, guns are tools. People are the problem. Exactly. But guns are not the issue last night. They didn't even talk about that. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. I want to talk about 9/11 this morning. The debacle last night is such a terrible thing. And people want to act like if you really think something's about to happen, you probably need to go talk to a therapist. Last night the freedom of speech was kind of messed up. But let me go and tell you, cats and dogs are not being eaten by immigrants in Ohio. Okay. That was just something that came out because somebody was a little mad because somebody was being a cellar dweller and wouldn't let that person speak. And then all of them were talking about how their guns, I got guns, you got guns. Look, nobody's coming for nobody's guns. Can't do that. Responsible adults like the people I have in here, like the Patriot, Captain Hot Buns, Martin, and all these people that own guns that are in here. These are the people that are responsible, and they sit here and they sit here and said there's already laws for this, that, and the other. Randall said it yesterday. There's already laws. Everybody's already said that. All our listeners already said that. So there doesn't need to be anything any stricter. So for people that think it needs to be, there's some heavy laws already out there. But anyway, Captain Laphog says people need to be held accountable when they let their kids have guns that are walking time bombs. The guns are not the issue. Yep. Well, the problem is 4 people are arrangements for those 4 people are being made today. And that was an issue. School shooting should have been an issue they talked about, but it wasn't even on the list of the moderators. All they wanted to do was pick at everybody, pick, irritate everybody, pick. And I don't agree that it was 3-on-1. I just agree that they weren't asking the right questions. I agree that they were being unprofessional. And then the vice president was getting under the former president's skin and caused him to just react the way he did. And that's a normal reaction, guys. I get like that when people just keep it. I don't say anything. I don't say anything wrong with him being mad about that situation. If you keep pushing somebody's buttons, they're going to get a little mad. And they might say a few things that don't mean anything. And and I'll say that and I know that some people that are like, well, I'm not for him. I don't like him. That's fine. I understand. But I'm a down the middle person. So I'm telling the truth about that. That's what I saw. And I was like, well, just speak about what's going on. Don't keep poking the bear. You know, Red Bear said, if guns weren't made to be taboo, everyone would carry in. Bad people wouldn't last long if they were foolish enough in the first place. You're right. I agree. You guys don't have to convince me anything about guns. I'm the one that told the story about the stabbing a few weeks ago, right before we started talking about this shooting that happened up in North Georgia. I was the one that said, all right, we're not going to talk about guns in this situation because it could have been a knife like that kid did a few weeks ago in UK. Anybody that's been listening to the show knows that I said that. And they didn't even talk about, they threw out, I got guns. Wait, no guns rights, that it was a little short. It wasn't even good enough. And I got a poll up on the Facebook page where Harris did more poking the bear than Trump did last night. So I can say that. But overall, it was terrible. God, guns, and guts. And that's never going to change, Patriot. Don't let nobody tell you any different. Don't let them tell you any different. Don't let them tell you any different. Don't let them tell you there's going to be a war. Don't let them tell you any different because it's not. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't let them do that to you. God's not going to let that happen. God's going to step in before all that. So, no. Captain Laphog says, I hear some noise in the school at my university on Monday, and I thought the shooting was happening. It is sad that is the first thing that comes to mind. School shootings must be talked about. Yeah, they should be talked about, and that's what should have been talked about last night. But the moderators didn't ask those questions. So they did not do their jobs. That's what I say as a person in this business. I was like, you're asking the wrong questions. I could care less about whether the former president thinks the election was stolen or not. I could care less. I don't really care about his so-called 4 cases. And I'm going to say so-called because I know some of you feel that way. I'm going to put that out there. I don't care about that. I want to know what they're going to do about school shootings. That's what I want to know. I didn't care about whether he liked her or she liked him. I didn't care. I thought it was going to be a friendly debate. I thought it was going to be a great debate when they come out and shook each other's hands. But when she introduced her name to him, I said, oh, God, here we are. She's telling him what her name is, which means this is going to be a debacle. I knew it right then when she said who her name was to him and shook his hand. I knew right then that it was going to be a debacle the whole night. Yep, they should have talked about that. Bali said he enjoyed the debate. He just enjoys going after. He just enjoys the fighting. But I agree with you. It was cringe, wasn't it, Patriot? But why? Are you still there, brother? Who said what? What was that? Wait. But I knew when that happened that it wasn't going to be. I love that line, give me the opportunity to fight for God and country, even if I die by the sword, says. Who said that? Oh, Patriot. There you go. So that's what Project Mockingbird is all about. I'll check it out, brother, for sure. Well, I'm not frozen to everybody on here. All right, we're going to get ready to take a break. I want to talk about 9/11 coming up next hour. I didn't really want to stay on this subject too long. We had one of our great listeners get a little angry. They just look, when you read too many conspiracy theory stuff, guys, and X and all that kind of stuff, you got to get away from that, man. That's not what it is. Oh, that Project 2025. Well, what it is they want to take all of our freedoms away in that Project 2025. They want to make it where they control the media, they control you, they control me, they control everything. And that's why the former president said, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I feel like he was shot by them, Project 2025 people. That's what I think. Because he said that week, I ain't going to read this crazy stuff. Yeah, they think, I'll be honest with you, even the people that want to put him in there think they're going to control him. If he does go in, I'm just going to let the people like the Project 2525 people know you're not going to control him. I'm just going to say that right there. But the only person that could get under his skin was her last night. Trump's dog's being eaten by Kamala's Project 2025. That's right, Redbeard. Far left equals far right. Yep, that's what it is, brother. It's all about taking every bit of the freedoms away. That's what I said. It's not going to happen. And I'm not even worried about. That's why whenever somebody tries to bring it up and pin it on him, I'm just like, hey, this man's already told you he wasn't going to do anything to do with it. The only way they're going to implement that is if they put him aside. And that's not going to happen if he's their nominee. So, but anyway, it's all crazy stuff, Patriot. I mean, they start off with at the beginning. It's like Trump said at the beginning. He was saying they got some good stuff in there. What he was talking about was, the good stuff that we've been asking to come back. Like back into schools, patriotic in schools, that's good. Prayers, that's good. But then they start putting all this other stuff where they're controlling every other aspect of our life, and he didn't like that. Good morning, Randall. How you doing, brother? I want to know your 9/11 stuff. That's what we're going to get into this morning. Guys, I know one of our brothers got ran off today because he was a little too hardcore and wanted to call names to everybody. But don't let him. Randall already explained the gun thing yesterday, so leave it at that, right? Pedro says, I hear dogs and cats who could eat. Joking. I think it was one guy eating one duck in a park or something like that. Yeah, something like that. 9/11 events don't even happen in East Texas. What? I've got one tonight, a visual tonight in Noonan. And let me tell you what's going on. 9/11 before I go to the break. The former president plans on being at ground zero today, as well as the vice president. Hopefully they're not there at the same time. And the current president, if we can get him up before noon, I like that. No, that was funny. If we can get him before noon, he's going to be out for all this stuff today. Wow. So there you go. Well, look, Ben Shapiro just talks really fast because that's who he was. He was born in New York, and it's just his style. I'm not for or against it. I'm not, everybody has their own style. But anyway, that's what's going on. Kamala and Joe Biden will be attending all 3 sites today: New York City, Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, where the heroes kept it from happening, and that's where it crashed, and Arlington, Virginia, at Ground Zero in New York. The former president will be there as well. Hopefully not at the same time. I've never really heard anything bad about Ben Shapiro. I kind of like him too. He just talks really, really fast, like Bali says. I think that Candace girl's a pretty decent woman too. So, but that's just beside the point. Back in a moment. He's a crackhead. How do you know he's a crackhead? I never heard that about him. I know he talks really, really fast, but that's just him. But has it been proven that Mike Liddell used to do drugs, but he said he did. So I just have never been offended by Ben Shapiro. I don't know how anybody could have been. But tell me, Bali, why? I don't mind listening when somebody. What's up, Daniel? How you doing? I want to know about 9/11. That's what we're going to talk about. We already went through the debacle from last night, and I didn't really want to get into it that long. We're just going to get 10 a.m. in honor. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Daniel. We are having this. I'm going to do that since you're going to do that, brother, at 10 a.m. I'm going to do that because you're doing that, brother. Randall, what's up, brother? Share Bear, let me guess. Another wreath ceremony should help the family, right? No, it's just, I think just remembering is the thing, Share Bear. I know it's hard for the people. I just want them to know that I remember them because 23 years later, I'm still thinking about people that lost their lives, and it still hurts. You like Brett on Daily Wire? Hey, do you know they got some sports guys on there too? Patriot, I know him. He seems like he'll probably drinks 10 coffees before he talks. Oh, you're talking about Ben Shapiro? Yeah, he probably does. Hey, look, when you got to get up early, you got to have all them coffees. I'm picking. You see, you can pick at them, and they can pick at each other. Anyway. Chicken head, yep. DW looks like a shop for producing, promoting from Hard. Oh, okay. That's why. I get it. Dang, Martin, elder statesman. All right. But I understand what you were saying, Share Bear, but I just feel like it's always a good thing to let me write down your stuff, Daniel, because I'm going to talk about it. That's all it's going to be for the next hour. I really want to get away from what happened last night. You guys are going to stand down on your job, 10 a.m. in honor of 9/11.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, noon.
Oh, Patriot said he drinks too slow. Remember me. Okay. I'll check that out. Anything for you, Pete? Martin DeLoach says, I want an energy drink and cigarettes, but no payday today till 3. No pay today till 3 today. Red Bear is a commie. How's Red Bear a commie? He's always been is he saying something? Wait a minute. 9/11 was horrible, and we can all agree on that. Who was responsible for it is where we disagree. We should all keep their souls in our thoughts today as we continue. Yes, I'm going to talk about it because I do it every year on the show. I've always done it on every show I've ever been on since it's happened, and I it's just more important to me. And I hated that we had that debacle last night that took over taking over majority of the news today, because to me it's important to remember these poor souls. And there were some heroes on that plane that crashed in Pennsylvania that sacrificed their life so that the next one wouldn't. And I'm so thankful we did not lose it more. I am thankful we didn't lose any more either. Red Bears. I just want to know what you guys are doing, and also I just want to know, like Martin DeLoach, I got your first one down. I'm gonna tell what you were doing, brother. Thank you for your service during that time and helping those people out. Martin DeLoach, guys, actually went to New York and provided services and supplies for the wounded.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste.
I think he was trying to respond to Jesse, but I think Jesse felt a different way because he might have had, here's what's going to be about talking about this. This is going to touch somebody's life, not just us that saw it in horror, but it's going to touch somebody's life that actually had family members that passed away. So when we're talking about this, we do want to do a dedication and a help and a remembrance of all these people, because there's going to be somebody that it touched them even closer, just like the people in North Georgia, how the violence touched them on Wednesday of last week. So it hurts me, but it touched somebody personally. So we got to remember when we're talking about that this morning, there will be somebody they may not respond. There's a lot of people watching this show that's not on right now. There's a lot of people watching the show that is not even subscribed to it. I'm exaggerating 9/11 as what? As terrorist attacks? It was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist attack. Somebody did it as a terrorist attack and killed a lot of innocent people. That's who we're dedicating this morning to. I work in corporate America, so you make good money then, bro. So there will be no halt to production or stopping the money machine to acknowledge it. A patriotic message from the CEO will be emailed to us to watch on our own time. Ooh. Well, that's why I'm doing a dedication to the show today. On the show today is for people who can't get it like they normally do. I still remember where I was, says Captain Laphog, when I heard about it. It was the belief. Go ahead and tell me where you were too.
Are we headed for a credit crisis in office buildings? It's very interesting to note that
I used to think that way too, Martin.
But $280 billion of credit that will have to go out to have office buildings refinanced.
At the Pentagon, when the plane hit the office, my cousin was hit. My cousin's work was hit. Fortunately, she was on the other side of the building. Oh my goodness, Pete. See, I told you. People would be watching this or listening to this. Let me write that down, Pete.
Are for these types of loans. And that could pose a serious problem. That is Perry Judd's.
Hit
For your 2 cents, go to Perry Judd's.
the office.
And enjoy life.
Cousin was.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time.
Wow. I bet that was scary for her. Thank God she survived, bro. New Beginning, what's up? Oh, New Beginning, he's telling when he was younger.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make
Super One parking lot. I was with my mom, said Captain.
You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM. This is Ryan, asking you to tune into Let God every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. right here on WQEE. We help those who are struggling with their faith.
Ooh, had to come off because I would agree with him. He's not being educated. New Beginning, I got to leave yours up there to say when I come on.
Twin-engine plane, possibly a 737 passenger jet, flying into the World Trade Center. It appears to be still embedded inside the building.
It was whispering in my ear. A second plane has hit the second tower. America is under attack. There have been attacks in 2 American cities, New York and in Washington. The trade centers here in New York have been hit by airplanes. In Washington, there is a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. And there, as you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. There are no words. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror.
Evil.
These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat, but they have failed.
Yes.
The views and opinions of this show and program are
Very.
not the views and opinions
Love that
of this
song.
station, its management, or its clientele.
Yes, we can, because the RyanORadio Penitentiary is on the air, and it is. Oh, it's awesome, all right, and it tells it like it is. 50,000 to 78,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast, Shout It Out Loud. 25 different medium streaming sites from iHeartRadio to Amazon Prime with the RyanORadio Penitentiary, all over RyanORadio Media. We're across Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We're across the British Columbia's Isles of Canada, WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, and right here on YouTube as well. We welcome everybody back in. It is our 9/11 tribute show. What a beautiful song that was in there. God bless America. What a beautiful song. I know last night's debacle, some people were still talking about it. I'm fed up with it. I'm done. It's a debacle. It was a terrible situation on both sides. We're going to dedicate this day to the real people, heroes, those that in the passenger plane that stopped those from crashing the fourth plane, sacrificed themselves. People in the trade centers that are no longer, those towers are no longer there. There was towers there. When you see them in movies, think about what the memories bring back. People that actually live there and that this actually touched them really, really close, guys, if you think about it. They probably can't watch a movie with the Twin Towers in it from the 80s and the 90s. September 11th attacks was one of the worst attacks in American history. I'm going to stand by that no matter what anybody else says. It was done by Islam terrorist suicide attacks, supposed by Al-Qaeda, which we had proved that back in 2001. 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airlines traveling from the East Coast to California. First 2 planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. And the next 2 flights, one targeted towards D.C., attacked, of course, going towards the Capitol, and the third was going to be succeeded at, and did not succeed as it was heading towards the Pentagon as well. Well, one was going to the Capitol, one was going to the Pentagon. And one at the Pentagon hit the other side of the Pentagon. Of course, we'll talk about that. And then the one plane didn't succeed thanks to passengers revolting. It's hard for me to say this because it hit me hard. 23 years ago, this happened, and over 2,997 people perished in this terrible situation that we want to put aside now as, oh, let's just don't talk about it. Oh, it's just every once in a while. Oh, it won't bring families back. Oh, look, we need to keep talking about this or it'll happen again. This is the worst things that's happened in history, guys. And we've had a lot of terrible things happen. We've had cities burned down, people fighting in front of capitals, people tearing into capitals, people burning cities down, Seattle being taken over by a group of terrorists back in the day, few years, and this was just recently, but none of it compares to 9/11. And because this impacts the world. New Beginning is from Australia. He said, I was watching 9/11 on TV in Australia. I was 14 at the time and thought I was watching the movie before I realized and heard the news report that this is real and not a movie. Whew. It definitely is. It definitely is. Martin said when he saw something, I guess he's talking about the 9/11, when he when he's seen it happen, he knew something was fishy. And a lot of people have felt that way too and everything. And this morning is dedicated to those people and those workers, those hardcore EMTs, police officers, firefighters, and people. And of course, over here, I think it's called RJ's Smokehouse is giving a big discount to all first responders today. But I'm telling you, I was in radio at the time. I was working for a radio station. Today isn't over yet. Watch your six. I pray that nothing happens there, Randall. And look, and every person that seen this happen, they're going to have a little bit of that. And this is not theory, conspiracy theory, lie, whatever. They're going to have that feeling that Randall has. But watch out. Something might happen. Always, every year, there's that little underlying feeling that is it going to happen again? Is something going to happen? Is something else going to happen? And I can understand where you're coming from, Randall. And I can understand, Martin, why you don't, because of the way they're doing your Social Security. And yeah, I'm not going to say you. Yeah. He says he don't trust the government. Randall says these idiots seem to like this date though. Yeah, they do, don't they, brother? They do. They do. You're right about that. Whew. Like I said, there's some people feel like that, and they've got rights to, because when you actually seen this happen, of course, you're just it's in a disbelief. Okay. Disbelief. And when I was working in radio, I got up that morning because I was working the 6 to midnight shift at a radio station. And it was a Christian radio station, and I was playing, Christian music and stuff like that. I got up because I had worked the night before. Didn't turn my TV on because I never turn my TV on early. Just not into popping the TV on or whatever. Because back then we didn't have the problem with all the false medias fighting one another and everything and all the clickbait stuff. It was just regular news and stuff. I didn't turn the TV on. I went to Walmart to get stuff I needed for that day, and everybody was standing in front of the TVs in Walmart. And people were just horrified. And I noticed something on TV, and I was kind of like you in that way, New Beginnings. I was like, what is this? I get home and I turn my TV on, and they're replaying it over and over. And I'm like, what in the blue blazes? So I pack my lunch and get my stuff ready, and I run to the station because I know that we're going to be on. I get there, the guy that was doing the news, the station was all news all day. News feeds out of things. He was doing news he was on the air all day long talking about it. And that's all we had did that whole day. And my God, when you're in it and you've seen it happen, and you got, of course, it was a African-American owned radio station. It was a news guy our news guy was, we had a mixture of, at that time, we had a mixture of everybody working in that station. So it was not just one particular group of people working. There was all of us different people with different backgrounds and different voting. So everybody was blown away, and they were just like, wow, didn't know what to say. I mean, get on the air and we did our news and get off the air, and we're just looking at each other like, this is really happening. Questions were coming up, like with Martin. Questions were coming up with people, and some people were coming up with, it was just different things like that. Red Beer says they were apparently only patriotic Americans in one plane saving the Capitol. The Pentagon was hit in the one side that was empty. It was just held. Oh, hit one side. Okay. Well, I think that those people on that one plane that did that were probably people. They probably knew they were going to die, and they just went ahead and did that. The other people didn't know they were going to die. You're on a plane and they're going to crash into the Twin Towers. You don't think these idiots are going to sacrifice themselves because you wouldn't do it. But these idiots would sacrifice themselves, and that's what they did. And so I don't know if they were. I'm not saying that the other 3 planes were not patriotic, because they were just people that were scared and probably didn't think these people were actually serious. You give me what I want, and we let everybody go. Patriot says they call for blood for the return of the prophet. They won't want to take down the Jews. Should I continue? Oh, he's talking about Bali. Okay. Need more Waffle House now. Yes. I can believe that. Captain Lamphawk says, quit blaming religion too. Muslims are one thing, but these people were killed by terrorists. Muslims are not terrorists, and terrorists are not Muslims, says Captain Lamphawk. And I don't know, I guess it's a response to somebody else saying that. I didn't see it. So I just put that out there because he was asking you to. But like I said, do you guys remember where you were at the time? Pete and Noonan says that the Pentagon was hit by when it hit, he had a cousin who was on the other side of the Pentagon. Thank God she was sacrificed. And I think God put his hands over those people. That's why they were sacrificed. I don't know if I know some people come up with theories and ideas on why was it, but I'm not going to get into that. I just think God has his hand on them. Daniel says that he and his people are going to stand at their jobs today at 10 a.m. and they're going to stand down in honor of 9/11. Thank you, Daniel, in Missouri. Martin D. said 23 years ago he went to New York because he worked as EMT. He worked in this stuff, providing emergency service supplies and more for the people wounded. And we thank you for what you did there, Brother Martin. Thank you for all the stuff that you guys did. CDP, how you doing this morning? The Patriot said he was in college at the time. He was in the choir, and they were going from school to school and doing things, and they saw it on TV, and it made him cry. I can see it, brother. New Beginning says there was a lot of hijacking in the 90s, so they probably thought it was going to be that type of thing. I mean, no attack of this type ever happened before 9/11. Exactly, my brother. Exactly. CDP, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Get an extra tank of gas. You better do that. Listen to Randall. He's not wrong. My road tide Randall, he's from Alabama. They know what they're talking about. They just say he calls a duck, guys. I guess he was talking about something else. Warrior Defender said, my dad was in New York that day as a truck driver, and took him 2 weeks to get home. Wow. So guys, do you remember? Because this is what I'm doing. I always try to remember this day, on this day. I don't want to bring up sadness for people, but I always try to bring it into light for people. Terrorists did tell them they were going to land the plane, and that their demands were met. They didn't know what was happening with the plane until it was too late. The ones that were in Pennsylvania found out later. Yeah, that's why they did it. They knew that they weren't going to survive. You're right. You guys tell me where you were. And let me go ahead and give you a couple of little news stories for you this morning while I hear from your 9/11. Of course, the debacle was last night, and I'm not going to get back into that. Also, 2 planes collided on a taxiway here at the Hartsfield International Airport yesterday in Atlanta. The FAA said the wingtip of a first plane, a Delta Airbus A350 bound for Tokyo, clipped the tail of a smaller Endeavor air flight headed for Lafayette, Louisiana around 10:10 a.m. yesterday. The reports of injuries, everything's fine. Alternative flights were set up for the passengers. P. Diddy's house is up for sale. The one that got raided by his LA mansion that got raided by Homeland Security. He's going to sell it for $61 million because he's got to pay them back. Big Francine. Is that who it is? Francine? She's trying to make her way to landfall, Louisiana and Texas. You guys better be on the lookout there as flooding, storm surges, and more damaging winds are headed your way, as Francine is going to become a Category 2 by Wednesday afternoon. And that is your headlines, ladies and gentlemen. 2611. What is 2611? War Defender said, I had friends that worked as flight attendants and I had no idea where they were and if they were safe. Wow. She said, I was in tax school and they said what happened. And the teacher said, we might not need to finish this session because our government is under attack. Wow. Oh, it's the Indians 9/11. I need to send me information to 99classrock@gmail.com. I will be happy to dedicate a day to that. Believe me, we're all about supporting people here. We get a few little crybabies every once in a while come in here, but all our people are about supporting everybody. Why do you think a man calls himself the Patriot? That guy supports us all. Isn't that right, brother Carlos? Redbeard said, I have a friend who went to New York to help with undertaking duties, and he was emotionally charged. I think that was the end of his career. Wow. So he was a mortician, and he still isn't okay. I know that. I'll Google. All right. I'll write that down and Google it, brother. Thank you. Believe me, we will always look up things. USA, baby. That's right. Patriot USA. USA, brother. USA. War Defender said, my mom was a security guard at the hospital and they were on lockdown waiting for more attacks. And she called us and told us to go home and stay there. She was on duty for 24 hours. Wow. Randy is putting in our daily devotion this morning, brought to you by Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan. Summer, winter, well, actually, I was going to say summer, winter, spring, fall. That's not the right one. Every Sunday morning, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10:30 a.m., and the outside services there, and inside services in the evening at 6:30 p.m. Transforming lives for Jesus' sake. All right, and a word from God, Revelations 24. Then I saw the thrones, and seated on them were those to whom the authority to the judge was committed. And also I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God, and those who had not worshiped the beast or the image or had not received its mark on their forehead or their hand. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1K years. That's a good one. Thank you very much. All right. This is Google 1992 space movie. All right. We're going to take a break, guys. Come back, more 9/11 tributes. And I want to hear where you guys were at. 31 minutes past the hour, 64 degrees, time and temperature, brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Mike and the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. He's writing it big for me to read because I don't have my glasses on. Thank you, Randy. You know, our host is a little bit blind. I like his glasses, but I don't want him to have to put them on. Thank you, Randy. He is risen. God is love. I love all of you, my brothers and sisters. To you, Patriot, too. World was not the same. You're right, Warrior Defenders. Let's all sit down for the last hour because we got Sally Toole coming up this morning. Let's hope I can get to this.
Active Pest Control offers the best services and prices to protect your home, offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bugs, killing roads, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control, prepare, bond, best termite coverage.
One Life Man, what's up?
34 Jefferson Street, Munich, 770-954-9941.
Math don't lie. Oh, I see what you're saying. First was Abraham 2,000 years later. Jesus was born 2,000 years later. There's us 2,000 years more. 2,000 years more. Jesus is coming back. Amen. Amen. You're not wrong, One Life Man. Molly, you think it's going to happen in the next year? It could. After that debacle last night, yes, indeed, I think it could. That's right. Yep, 2024 AD. You're right, Randy. You guys are not wrong about that. All right, Brother Patriot, we appreciate you, my friend. We love you, my brother. We really do. Martin says not yet until 2048. Okay. He does dive deeper into that, guys. So there might be a little something to listen to our elder statesman.
They're located at 752 North Lanier Avenue in Atlanta, Alabama. Open 9 to 5 daily, and their phone number is 844-644.
I appreciate Martin M and Martin D. I appreciate my elder statesmen, guys. You got to understand, they just come in with stuff that they really researched, and not just like. And I'm not saying anybody else in here. I'm just saying that we had somebody on earlier that wanted to throw in, read this, read that, read this, and Martin presents it, ideas through the Bible. When Israel became a nation in 1948, he's telling it, one generation was 2048. There you go. Awesome. Thank you, Martin. And Martin's now, I got to go get me some Jameson. I'm getting tired of teaching all this. I'm picking. And Randy, we thank you for all that you do every morning. I appreciate you. If you didn't drop in those daily devotions, I wouldn't be able to get them in, man. I had my devotion book here, but so much stuff going on, I can't get to it, and I'm glad you do it. I want to thank you very much, brother, for doing that. It helps me out a lot. You just don't know. Captain Hot Buns, you still there? You better be, Captain Hot Buns. I'm going to come get you. Captain Hot Buns, you better be there, Captain Hot Buns. Sally Toole still coming up for you a little later on. Ooh, I'm praying for my brother. Ooh, got to pray for him. Also, good morning to New Beginnings out there down in Australia. Actually, it's good overnight. He's listening there, and we appreciate him. He always writes something nice for me. Easy Money in the house. Easy Money's in the house. He was young at the time, he said, so he don't really remember too much about the 9/11. And we're talking about 9/11 this morning, which is September 11th, and the attacks that happened and took out the Twin Towers in New York, part of the one building and another. Oh, Lord. Thank goodness. The fourth plane crashed in rural Pennsylvania. It was headed to the Capitol. The Pentagon was hit. 2 planes hit the Twin Towers. Worst thing to happen on our soil. And I'm asking people, where were you and what was going on? I know you are, brother. Martin, you're always prepared. I appreciate you, my friend. I really do. One Life Man, thank you very much, too, for being a part of it. Warrior Defenders, I'm going to finish what she said. She said, with all that happened, what impacted the most was the silence after the sky with no planes or travel for a week. The world was not the same. It never was. And when you go through airports now, all the airport security that everybody's so used to, that started shortly after this because of this situation. Will you be attending any 9/11 memorial events today? 70% of you say yes. Not 69% say no. 14% say maybe. Cher Bear, you still better be there, girl. Tomorrow, we've got Elizabeth Sarles joins us. We're going to be talking about a case out of Peach County, Georgia, unsolved homicide in small town USA. And Elizabeth Sarles is going to be talking about that case tomorrow. And the victim's family in that case will be tuning in as well, ladies and gentlemen, to let you know. We appreciate them. They're thanking us for putting this stuff on the air. And I'm just glad that we've got somebody with the knowledge to be able to put this stuff on the air, like Elizabeth Sarles, like Courtney Lizo, because saying these people's names is the best thing to do on True Crime Thursday. And it's not just about whether or not Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer. It's about the victims. And that's what I'm about on my True Crime Thursday. Don't get me wrong. We talk about all that other stuff. But when we come down, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about Peach County, Georgia. So you listen up, Georgia folk. Usually she does a lot of Alabama stuff tomorrow. In the beginning, right, One Life Man says, make sure I get this right. I'm beginning to prepare. I got everything I need to survive. If an apocalypse comes, the world will know pain again. Happens before it's going to happen again. Be prepared, my friends. See, that is biblical there. So you think World War III will happen? I'm not really sure if it will, but if it does, it could. I'm not saying it can't. I'm not one of these people who say it can't. I'm not going to say. I just don't think there'll be a civil war, but as World War III, yeah, that could happen. We've always been on the edge of a World War III for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. So when people start saying that, I'm not going to disband their beliefs on that, whether I agree or not. Don't lay them down, Pete. I'm waiting. Oh, he's going to get your tape measure and your Martin says he's going to get your gloves and tape measure. Everything will be close, says One Life Man. I mean, Army is Har versus Dar. I don't know who those are. Red Bear feels like World War III is already underway. Wars and rumors of wars. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. No wonder we get along so well, Martin. No wonder we can be highly educated and disagree on some things and get along. We're brothers in Christ. That's what it really is. Randall says, only seconds left on the doomsday clock. There's a lot of people saying that, Randall. But you know, there were some things you said yesterday that really hit the heart too that I want everybody to remember about. You were talking about the guns and how there was already gun laws and stuff. I want people to listen to some of the stuff that Row Tide Randall has to say too. He's our brother, whether he wants to be our brother in Christ. One day he will be. One day I'll get him. But he's still my brother. Pro Tide Randall, I love him. You guys just don't know how much I love my listeners. They really do. Pete says, I'm wearing my gloves and my tape measure is on me. Ha, you can't laugh out loud. You can't get it. I love how you guys are having a good time. 15 minutes away from the top of the hour, 64 degrees. Time to tiptoe on the cloudy skies. Brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, and gooey things at all. Michael and the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down just for you. All right. Cher's on with us. Good morning to you, Cher. We've already talked about the debacle last night. We're going to not get into that. So you and I can talk about that later. She always is easy to talk with too. But we're talking about 9/11. Where were you, sister? Do you remember? And Pete had a family member that was a part of that survived near the Pentagon. So yeah, where were you guys? They are. I don't disagree on that one, Bali, that Turkey is killing Americans. Some of them are. It's a minimum of 250 years still need for the end games. So will you be attending some things today, the 9/11 memorial? Also, share, please. You were home? You were home at the time. Because I know at the time, Cher, who's retired now from her wonderful job. I don't know which job she had at the time. I don't know anything personal about her then. But so you were home at the time when it happened. What was your first initial reaction, sister? Let me know that. We'll talk about it after the break because this is what this hour is totally about. It's totally about our dedicating to 9/11 and those emergency management people, those first responders, the people that sacrificed their lives in the Pennsylvania, going into Pennsylvania, crash, and all the people that were in the towers as well as in the planes. It's 9/11. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's bound to happen, Bali, because it's in the Bible. So you were a nursing assistant at the time, Cher. Wow. People were scared back then, Molly. Now people know that the end's near, so they're like, oh, yeah. That's the only reason when he talked about the end of times, some of those people were that way. People get scared. They get scared. That's what happens. So you were a nursing assistant. On 9/11, I was in Missouri on I-70, hungover, heading to breakfast before work as a young iron worker, the second year of my career. Wow. I'm going to say that on the air since you put that up there. Whew. I was in radio too then, guys, so that lets you know that I've been in radio a long time. It was unbelievable. I was shocked, couldn't believe it. Had to go to neighbors to see it on TV. Wow, Cher. Whew. You know how wow. All right. This. Bring this down and get rid of this because I got to get all these spots out of the way. I'm going to put that at the end of the show. My brothers who worked at ironworks. Wow. Young iron worker. You're right, One Life. You're right about that, One Life, man. You are exactly right about that. I got to read shares and Daniel's on the air. Whew. We'll get into a little bit of fun stuff next hour with Sally Toole. Thank you, Martin D, for yours too. I'm gonna repeat some of what some of you guys said after we get a couple of new ones in here. You know, that's another thing. That's why some people dive deeper into some of these conspiracy theories, guys, because they're scared. They don't read the Bible. That's why with all of you that are bringing the Bible up in here, I can tell you actually read it. Because you're not scared. You're like, well, it says it right here in Revelations, man. I love it. I do. I love it. And we're not talking about people that question us. We're talking about people that are just, they're scared. They just want to read some author's book. I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. This is a book I'm reading. It's more than some of those books that Uwe was talking about. This is a good one right here. How about that, Pete?
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of the 45 Affair Radio Show, where I play all Rhino 45s.
I'm not talking bad about them. It's just wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. It is the 9/11 tribute show. Cher says she was a nurse and assistant at the time that she saw it on TV. She had to go to a neighbor's house, Cher in Iowa, and she was in total shock. She went to a neighbor's house to check it out. Daniel said on 9/11 he was headed into work on I-70, hungover. You know, young man doing what young men do at the time. He was headed to breakfast before he headed to work as a young iron worker in his second year of his career when it happened. Daniel said we were listening to it on the radio in the truck on 98.9 The Rock. They cut off the Johnny Dare morning show. Ooh. You know that was important because we cut off everything on our news station at the time. We cut everything off. There was no music at all that day. We were a Christian radio station. There's no difference, Bolly, to answer your question. I've made a lot of money doing it. Oh, okay, no, they're talking about that. Ryan, talking to one guy at work about 9/11. He is 23 years old, so he learned through the years. 23 years later, he was born when it happened. Wow. That book right there will change your life more, that Life After Silence, H.D. Reese, than the one that I was trying to be told to look at, WEF or whatever it is. So there you go, guys. And some of the other ones, Martin D said because he was a first responder back in the day, providing emergency services and supplies for those that were wounded in New York 23 years ago. Pete said that his female cousin, was at the Pentagon when the plane hit the office. She was on the other side of the building. Thank God. I believe God had his hands on her. That's what I believe. Non-believers may not believe that, but believers do. Captain Labhawk said he was in the Super One parking lot with his mom when it happened. That was a grocery store, by the way. The Patriot said, who is off right now, said that he was traveling with his college with the choir. They're doing songs, singing from church, school to school, going from school to school when they saw it on TV, and it made him sad. Daniel says today that 10 a.m. they're going to step down from their jobs. Some people say they can't step down from their corporate jobs, but they'll get a little email. That's why we're doing this show today, is for all of you guys. All of you. Jesse, all of you guys. This is for people who can do it and can't do it. One Life Man, he might have been a prophet. You never know. Might have changed his name. It might have been a prophet from the Bible to change his name. You never know. Makes a lot more sense than just saying people can see into the future. And I'm not putting anybody down for that. I'm just saying. We're supposed to learn from the past. That's right. Well, people are not going to learn from the past, Molly. There's so many racist people out there who are going to still be racist. There's going to be hatefulness, hate, and there's going to be derogatory. But learning from the Bible, most of my people that are learning from the Bible and that are on here that are reading the Bible, that are my listeners, they're not really scared of this end time thing. You talk to them, they're really not. They're like, it's coming. I'm not worried. And you know why most of them are not worried? Because they know where they're going to be. And people that are non-believers are going to be given a chance as well. You'll be given a chance by our Lord and Savior, whether you believe or not. You will be. My brother Randall will be, because of what so many false prophets out there have said and done to cause people to dislike that and to cause you guys to feel like that they're evil or whatever towards you. But people that are running around scared, making up conspiracy theories, listening to QAnon conspiracy theories, listening to WEF, listening to all this stuff and saying that this is going to happen, they don't read their Bible very well if they say they're Christians. I never see Martin fearing anything in there. He'll say something about he don't like something, but he's not fearing it. Cher's not fearing it. She'll say she don't like something and disagree with something, but she's not fearing it. That's why I know they're saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. One Life Man, I know he is. Pete says, I'm ready for paradise. And I can tell you that. I can tell you guys right now, I can tell by speaking with some of the people on here and how they are and how they feel about certain things. But then what they got in their hearts. It was a sad day for sure. No fear, prepare. No fear, prepare always just in case, says Warrior Defenders. That's right. Nope, I ain't scared if it seemed too much. Me to Pete, he says. I say it's because you read the Bible, brother, and you already know what's coming. Randall said, the only thing that makes any sense to me was an insurance job. Lords of London held the policies. Ooh. See, some people had those thoughts back then too. Like, and I know some people are like, well, you don't listen to this. Some of these other people, and you don't listen to certain people. It's because certain people don't say crazy things. Okay, they're not saying crazy things. They're asking questions and saying what they feel. Big difference in saying, Ryan, you're crazy for not believing this way. And as to, this is what I believe. And I'll look into that. I'm not going to disagree with Randall, because I say, like I said, a lot of people had different beliefs back then, but it was a sad day for those people. Not scared, just cautious. There you go, Cher. But you read the Bible, so you already know what's coming. You already know what's coming for sure, so you're not scared. I don't think any of you are. God from Heaven says, hello, my beautiful brother and friend. I was working on a power plant when the planes hit. The U.S. government swarmed our plant and prevented any future harm. It was crazy. Whoa! There we go. I told you, we got somebody closer and closer into it. I knew that. Can't wait. Hopefully we'll have a little time after our interview with Sally Toole to talk some more about this. And Randall, Cher said she heard the same thing too. And you know what? I heard the same thing too. You believe him, but you don't believe who? Big difference. Roll Tide and Randall's from Alabama. I'm just kidding. It's not that. It's just, Thank you for sharing that, God from heaven. Thank you very much. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go up to the top of the hour.
I could hear a noise on the phone. I looked around and I could see that the desk in front of me was shaking.
Muhammad's plan. You talking about the plane crashing or the evil crashing? Somebody made money. Somebody didn't make money off of it, though. He's not wrong about that, guys. I mean, he's not wrong that somebody made some money off of it. We all do kind of feel and agree that war is a moneymaker. So why something, makes a lot of sense. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And it's 9/11, so I'm going to ask you, you don't have to tell me right now, but I'm going to ask you where you were when that happened, because that's our big topic today. I did a little bit on the debacle last night. Didn't want to get into an argument about that, because this is my 9/11 show, and it's dedicated to those people.
What now? We're doing a 9/11 theme.
Well, my show is, so I'm going to ask you, we're going to talk about what you're talking about, but I'm going to ask you where you were.
September 11th, holy mackerel.
Yep, I'm going to ask you where you were.
Okay, I got a good one for you.
All right, because that's the theme of my show.
Thanks for the heads up. I had a little toothache during the night. It took me a minute to get woken up this morning.
No problem. You should have had. You should.
I sit down on something last night, and it just kind of hurts. And I don't think it's it'll go away, but it's one of those dull aches about 3 a.m. It just makes for a wonderful morning.
Ooh, yeah. You need to go to get some medicine or something.
Yeah, I took a couple of Advil and I had some more grits for breakfast.
That should help out.
I just gotta let it settle in for a minute.
Ooh, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, that's interesting because I have some thoughts on the whole September 11th thing. Are we still gonna hit the Friday the 13th?
Yep.
You just wanna.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
We're still gonna do your.
Make sure we're honoring everybody today. I got you. No worries.
Yeah. No. We got plenty of time to talk.
A very interesting story of September 11th from years later. A friend of mine's brother was lost in the showers. So I can add that to it. It will make people think. This story I have.
Good. Well, I just wanted to do that before we got started into our fun stuff and
Absolutely. You're the captain, sir.
But it's one of those things that I always do. I've been in radio for a number of years, and I always do a tribute show, and because I was in radio when it happened, and we were a Christian radio station, and we were playing music, and for a full week we were nonstop talk news, talking about it all day long. There was no music.
Oh yeah, I remember how eerie it was to not have airplanes and trains.
Yep. That's what one of my listeners just said. And I had plenty of.
We were in Norcross at the time, and the trains, barreled through downtown Norcross frequently during the day. So to suddenly have that gone, that noise
Some do, Bobby.
that you're so familiar with. I got you. I got two pretty good stories I can share. I think they're both pretty touching. So cool. We'll do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, my mother was very upset at September 11th because she said, we fought the big war. We thought that was the last war.
I know, right?
Well, I'm upstairs in our office this morning.
Okay.
It's not finished, but we got our final, well, not the final inspection.
I
We got
saw.
the inspection yesterday to hook up our power.
I saw your pictures.
So we're out of the camper, at least for work time. And, we got clearance now. We're gonna call the power company today and we'll get our power hooked up. Cause we just been running down here doing our work on one extension cord.
Yeah, no.
With that, just to be able to manage. Cause it's been so hot.
Oh, one extension cord. Wow. That is.
So we've been running the air conditioning and a couple of power tools here and there. And so, but now we'll get our power hooked up probably within the next 10 days. That's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So we're on the walls and installation today. That's Mark's job today.
Mark is going to be doing walls and installation.
Yeah, that's what he did all of his life. But we're not doing drywall. We're just doing like a thin paneling material.
Yes, that's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's just $12 a board. Everything else is like 30, 50, 60 a board. So it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to cover up the installation, and that's what it'll do.
Well, it's still probably going to look good.
Oh, it's very attractive. I'll send the pictures later. It's a dark wood, which I'm okay with. I kind of like it. We want to maintain the cabin barn. We're not turning this into some house. It's just going to be, a utility storage barn and then office, office where my son and I can both get office work done without 4 kids running around the background.
Ah, there you go.
That'll be different.
That'd be very different.
Yeah, I'm up here once I get it insulated and stuff. It'll help with good voiceover recording because that's sometimes tough to get them hot.
Oh, I know.
Camper's not bad to turn the air conditioning off. Just sit in the camper, it's pretty tight. But anyway, we're doing it. That was a big day yesterday. Getting that back. We had to replace the window and everything. It cost me
Right.
money to get it done.
Oh.
I'm sitting here looking out of the bigger window, and now I'm like, oh, nice.
Well, at least it's positive after you spent that money.
Yes, and we're here for the long term, whatever God says that is for us. So
Right. There you go.
could be tomorrow, could be 20 years. I have no idea, but I'm gonna get up every morning and remember the past is very important.
Well, you're still gonna have to be a guest on my show. Even after death, you're just gonna have to call in from the afterlife.
Okay, I will do that. We'll set up a direct line. We'll give you the red phone or something. No, not the red phone. That'd be I'm calling from down below.
Yeah, no. I don't want to hear all that.
That's the phone.
Yeah, you don't want to be down below. Not with Hitler down there. No, you don't want to be with him.
No. Even though when I was a kid, my favorite cat's name was Lucifer.
Oh, really?
We had a cat named Lucifer. They had a big, fluffy gray cat, Lucifer. And then we had 2 other cats. One was Spaghetti and the other was Meatball.
Spaghetti and meatball.
Spaghetti and Meatball.
Oh man. I had a dog named Snowflake. It was an Alaskan Spitz.
Oh man.
Yep. Dangerous. Those were dangerous dogs. All white. People were scared, wouldn't mess with us. That's why nobody kidnapped us. Well, that and my brother and sister were crazy, so they would have returned them. But still, we had that dog.
Pure white. We had a pure white cat once. A good cat. Oh, and I also want to throw in a shout out to the Page House sometime this morning.
Okay.
We did our first little pasta party on Saturday. It was very nice. The guests got to learn how to make homemade pasta. Then they got a tour of the house and all of the history. Then we sat down for a lovely meal. It was a
Henry
very nice
Osborne
event.
Green.
It was about a 3-hour event. And you can, girls night out, couples,
That's cool,
office
Randall.
groups.
Right? That's cool,
Whatever.
Randall.
Now that the holiday seasons are coming, there'll be more office-y kind of parties. A grade level party for the teachers, or an office party.
Right.
Something like that. I think this would be an interesting and new venue for people. Instead of just sitting in the corner of a Mexican restaurant, why not go to a really cool house?
That's true. That's true. All right, we're getting ready to go on.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. I forgot it was September 11th.
No problem.
I dropped off 3 kids at school today, so God help them all.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So different from when we were kids, Ryan.
I know, right? I know.
I felt so safe at school. I don't know what these kids think about school anymore. I don't know.
Well, I hear in some schools they're going back to teaching them how to write in cursive.
Oh, well, that could be a plus.
It is. So I think it's great that they're doing that in some of the schools. All right, we're getting ready to go on. Here we go.
Okay, cool.
I think that was from Iowa. I think that was Sherry. You told me that yesterday, Sherry. Or one day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the RyanORadio Penitentiary. That's right. 78,000 plus of you worldwide, all over the Shoutcast, Shout It Out Loud. And we're across the RyanORadio media page, which puts us out on 25 different platforms out there in the internet streaming world, including iHeartRadio and Amazon Prime. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada, Also, Earth Rock Radio in New Mexico, Arizona, and all over the Navajo Nation. 25 radio stations there as well, internet and real. We're across 99.1 FM WQEE The Key, home of Southern Sports and Inspiration Talk here in the Atlanta Metro Atlanta area, and on our YouTube page and other platforms. Yeah, I'm everywhere, brother. I'm everywhere, Bali. And like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube page. We're being shared on Facebook as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Of course, it's September 11th. We're dedicating that morning too. But you know what that means. It's Weird Wednesday. And you also know what that means. It's time for our friend from Histories and Mysteries. She is the host of the Histories and Mysteries channel. She is a Family Feud champion. She's a tour guide. She's an author. She's an actress. She's a traveler. She's a blogger. She's a YouTuber. And she's a grandma. She's taking the kids to school. She's a wife. She's a breakfast cooker, except for maybe this morning. Please welcome Sally Toole of Histories and Mysteries. Hello, Sally.
Hey, good morning, Ryan.
You got I had to put everything in there for you. I had to talk about everything you did.
I was changing hats while you were talking.
And there's a few of them I left out, by the way. So.
You did.
I got a few of them I left out. And I said, if we stay here, I'll be introducing her all day. So.
I know. I'm always coming. You know what, though? Life's short. If you don't start learning and having fun doing new stuff, what's the point? So that's it. We just get out and do fun stuff.
Exactly. Well, today we're going to talk about what's coming on Friday the 13th, and then some of the stuff that you guys are approaching in October. So we got all this coming up to talk about. We got some fun stuff with Sally and Histories and Mysteries. But first, everybody knows we're dedicating this morning to 9/11, and a lot of kids don't know anything about this. A lot of kids have born way after it. But my question is going out. I had a lot of great responses from our wonderful listeners. I know we had the debate last night and talked a little bit about that this morning. But the most important thing to me this morning is the 9/11 and where were you, and some stories that you might have associated with September 11th, 2001.
Yeah, so Ryan, you're talking about different hats I've worn. September 11th, I was a preschool teacher.
Okay.
I had a group of 4-year-olds. And we was a very exclusive little daycare. So the kids actually were able to go to like art and French and all of this stuff and music. And I had just dropped my little ones off with the art teacher. And when I walked in the door, the art teacher had a funny look on her face. And she said, a plane's crashed. A plane's crashed. That was the first we heard.
Wow.
A plane crashed into the Twin Towers. We heard that. And of course, remember the information just started coming out and people were confused.
Yep.
And of course, it was live on all these morning shows like
Regis.
and Kelly
Yes.
and the Today Show. I remember, you can still go back and see like Katie Couric, her reaction, all that. So we're getting the information piecemeal, and I just got goosebumps remembering this because I was co-teaching with another teacher, and about 20 minutes after I heard the plane crash, we were all told to get our kids back to us because we started having that feeling of needing to rally, I guess you could say,
Right.
hunker down, rally, because it started becoming clear that there was more of a threat than we first realized. And I remember taking the kids out on the playground, and the other teacher and I literally looking at each other like, is this safe to do? What is it safe to go in? Is it safe to go out? Is it safe anywhere? That was the feeling. And then, of course, the parents started trickling in to pick up their children.
Yeah.
Because I also remember we had this need to be home
Yes.
with people you love.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember trying to call my mom, who lived in North Carolina. And of course, that was only within maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of everything unfolding. And there was no contacting anyone by cell phone within just a few hours of this going on, as you recall. And the other thing that, really struck us is, suddenly they grounded all of the planes.
Right.
And they halted all of the railroads.
Yep.
Any type of transportation of public nature was just halted in place, basically. Yeah. And I remember how eerie it was. Gosh, wasn't it? It was at least 2 weeks.
I'm going to say 2 weeks, yeah.
Planes didn't fly. The railroads didn't roll.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. Cell phone service was still sketchy. And I can tell you, Ryan, my very first impulse was to go to church.
Wow.
And not thinking anybody else would be there, but there was something about, I just wish I was in church right now.
Right.
And my other fear at the time was I had a son nearing the age of 18, and I grew up with my brothers getting called to the draft for Vietnam.
Right.
My immediate thought was,
I know.
they're going to start drafting all these boys and girls now, to defend our country.
Yep.
And you got patriotic and worried. And I remember thinking, all right, are we going to start having to ration sugar? Are all these the stories?
Wow.
World War II from my parents.
Right.
They rationed aluminum foil. They rationed sugar. And I remember almost being disappointed as the weeks went on.
Right.
That the country wasn't more thinking, let's pull in the ranks, let's just close the ranks. But it was very eerie not to hear the trains and the planes and those things that the sounds we take for granted.
Right.
And I was in a little routine. We lived in Norcross, Georgia. Shout out to anybody in Norcross area.
Norcross.
And I was a member at the YMCA.
Right.
One of my regular things I would do on my lunch hour was to go swim laps at the Y. And so I would sneak over my lunch hour, and of course not right after, but I want to say it was almost a year after I had just left a water aerobics class, and it was all ladies, and we would, do this class together, so we knew each other's family, and you just would chit-chat as you were exercising. And we came back into the locker room, and one of the ladies is on this is maybe at least 2 years after 9/11. She is sobbing on a bench in the locker room.
Right.
And we knew her brother had been in the Twin Towers.
Wow.
Of course, she knew nothing of him. He was basically vaporized as far as she knew. I hate to say it that way, but as far as she knew, he was gone in a millisecond.
Wow.
And nothing was left of him. No burial. Nothing.
Wow.
And this was her brother. And she was sobbing on the bench. This had to have been at least 2 years after the fact. And she looked it up. We were saying, what's the matter, trying to console her. And she said, my sister-in-law just called and they found part of my brother's finger. That was all they ever found of this dear woman's brother was a one bone of a finger. And remember they were sorting through the wreckage for years, trying to identify people. And here this woman suffered this terrible loss on September 11th and then had to relive it, several years later. And she goes, it's like it just happened for her. So, imagine, and that was just one person of the thousands of people who were lost. So stories like that have got to be pretty common.
They are.
People who lost. And also I remember all the women who were expecting children and the daddies were lost. And then we had, not a generation, but a pretty substantial group of young people who were born, 9/11 babies, I guess you could say.
Yes.
They were orphaned before they were born. They lost their father. So, and then at my son's college graduation, we had the dad of one of the folks who was on the plane that heroically took the plane down before, I think it was that Shanksville, I believe?
Yep, Shanksville. That was in Pennsylvania, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the dad's story was, always be ready.
Yep.
Because you never know when God's going to call you. And that was his message at the commencement was, are you right with God? Because you never know when that moment's going to come. Because his son, he said, his last thing he said to his son was, I'll see you later.
There you go. There you go.
So, I remember September 11th. It was, I was glad for the patriotic surge. But I was a bit disappointed that we weren't able to. But in World War II, we had a clear enemy.
Right.
There he is. Here's what he's doing. Here's his regime. We're going after him. With September 11th, we were pretty sketchy on who to blame.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it was a very difficult war, so to speak, I think.
And still people have questions. Yep.
It still is.
Yep.
Still is. And the idea that they could easily infiltrate our society from the inside out is frightening, beyond frightening.
It's very frightening. And we've never had anything. We've had a lot of things over the years and history. You and I learned history. We know history. We've talked about history. We've had a lot of terrible things happen in history and terrible things. But this to me is probably one of the worst things that's ever happened in history.
Now, Pearl Harbor is the only one to me that really stands.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. Now, Pearl Harbor.
My mother would have said to you,
Pearl Harbor.
It reminded her of Pearl Harbor. It was one of those events where everybody remembered where they were. Now, of course, in those days, they heard the news through the radio.
Yeah, they were on the radio at the time. Yeah.
Through the radio, and of course, for September 11th, there was more social media, and like I said, I love the patriotism that did come out, but it was kind of hard to we didn't know who to fight. Who do we fight? Do we fight ourselves? Do we fight? Remember when Pearl Harbor, they started putting all folks of Japanese heritage in camps. And, that was the knee-jerk reaction to a terrible situation. Well, if you have any even relation to what we think is the enemy, and that was a horrible part of our history as well. But people get scared. People get scared.
They do, and that's.
We certainly were scared, in September 11th. So many.
I said that today.
My mom was very upset because she thought they fought the final war, but unfortunately, I don't know if the world will ever stop fighting.
Probably not. People have different views of what caused that happened. And even though we went and did what we did at the time, looking for weapons of mass destruction, I'm not going to get into all the political stuff, but some people have different points of view on why it happened, how it happened. And who made it happen and different things, even though we ended up taking care of who we
Presumed or
associated with it. Yes.
I mean, I'm glad that they said, I'm not for terrorists, and I
No.
live and let live kind of a girl. Whatever you want to believe or do in your home with your family. But when you start hurting other people, there's the line for me.
There you go. That's
a
lot of things happen.
Religion that you go to heaven because you kill another human soul. Nope, no, thank you.
No, don't think so. I agree with you.
Not on board that train at all.
Yeah, not going to kill somebody.
That.
I want a bunch of virgins.
Listening, that's evil.
Yes, sister. That's right. Well, let's now that we've talked about that and did our dedication to 9/11 at 23 minutes past the hour, guys. We're still about 65 degrees under cloudy skies. Let's get into some fun stuff with Sally.
God bless all those folks today, though.
Yes,
who are having these memories that they, once again have to deal with. But there's something else coming up this week. Another sort of a fun fact, right?
Yeah, Friday's fun. Jason's going to be out. Jason's going to be out.
People maybe it's fun.
Hey, Jason's going to be ready. Don't go to Camp Crystal. Don't go camping this weekend.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Nope. Don't go there. Don't get in the water.
Don't get in the water. Yeah. So, but you'd be okay as long as you don't have frigatristicadecaphobia.
Exactly. It's Friday. It's Friday the 13th. We're going to talk about the significance of that right now. And of course, we'll get into some stuff that you guys are going to be doing later. I can't wait for your October 24th, 25th, and 26th. But let's talk about Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. I got so many crazy things happening on Friday the 13th that I really did develop a fear. And I was convinced I should start staying home with the cat and, maybe a bottle of Merlot every Friday the 13th. But it's one of those things, if you go through history, you'll see the significance. There were 13 disciples. And I believe there was I can't remember the genealogy of it, but in Europe, there was a big czar who killed like 1,300 people on the 13th. 13's been a weird number for years. And numerology is an odd thing. It's not something I really I believe in maybe necessarily, but I have seen evidence of numbers affecting things. We talked about Mahaley Lancaster. The number 3 was big to her. But number 13 does hold weird significance. And of course, you go to a hotel and they don't have a room 13 or a high rise that there's no 13th floor.
Yeah.
It means that the 12th, the 14th floor or whatever is really the 13th floor.
Yep.
But you just don't put the number 13 on it.
Yeah, I know.
And also, a significant drop in the number of people who travel on Friday the 13th is a documented fact.
Wow.
So people do think twice when it's Friday the 13th.
Well, I hate to tell you, I always have good luck on Friday the 13th. I'm one of those people that have good luck on Friday the 13th. I don't know why.
That's good.
Everybody's like, you're weird.
I've had people say I was born on a Friday and it was the 13th, and so they kind of get a kick out of being Friday the 13th babies. But it's just one of those funny things that people have phobias, and so many phobias out there. That's crazy little things. People don't walk under a ladder.
Right.
A black cat crosses your path. Friday the 13th is one of those crazy things, but it was weird to me because when I started getting into the ghost tour thing, Friday the 13th was a day that, we would be like, all right, let's do a tour because it's Friday the 13th. And people would be thinking about it and doing it. And of course, last year we did our kickoff of the Lula Legend.
I remember that, yes.
That was Friday the 13th of that.
Yeah, I remember you doing that, yeah.
And so, but over the years, we just had so many strange things happen that it did make me start second guessing whether I needed to stay home and pull up the covers for sure.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, I always have a good luck. And then Friday the 13th, always everybody is going to You know, AMC will probably be doing Friday the 13th marathon on Friday the 13th with Jason this and Jason that. And one of my listeners, Pete, says his lucky number is 13.
There you go. I need to hang around with you guys on Friday then.
That's right. So
good luck rubbed off.
The good luck rubbed off.
Good luck. But for me, we had a few, incidents. There was the evening in Norcross that we said there was a Friday the 13th and it was going to be August. I believe it was 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it was in August, and so when you do the ghost tours, like right now, I'm starting to get the word out about any October event that I'm going to produce or host. And so this is the time of year, August, September, that you start, gathering your crew and thinking about what you're going to do. And so we said, August 13th, let's do a free evening event, and it'll sort of stir up people's interest in our tours. And so we were out in Norcross one evening, and people have their little meters running, and they're getting, it's fun, entertaining. I think I heard some voice, or I think I heard a cat cry or whatever.
Right.
And everybody's kind of fun, not really anything serious. We get to the last stop, and we have a psychic with us. And she is, her name is Reese Christian. She is big in Atlanta. She worked on the Poltergeist filming set. She has solved unsolved mysteries and found missing people. So she does have that level of clairvoyance. If you believe in it or not, I have encountered a few humans that certainly have proven to me that they have a sixth sense. That's all I'll say. There are some humans that have proven that to me over the years. So, that being said, she was calling out to the spirit of a little boy named Billy that we knew was killed in front of this house while he was riding his bike at the age of 5. So that evening, with meters running and cameras going, we were on the front porch of this house where he had been killed in front of.
Right.
She called out to Billy, if you're here, send us a sign. Let us know.
Oh, Billy boy.
Billy, if you're with us, acknowledge this. And at the very moment she said those words, 2 fellas who were in the crowd that evening had their cell phones go off.
Wow.
And they were both had them like in their pockets. And when somebody's phone lights up, you can see it through their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were out there in the dark, and we realized that these 2 fellas in the crowd had their cell phones go off. And they pulled their cell phones off, and they both have gotten 5 text messages from an unknown name with no message, just like message, no message, unknown name, 5 of them. Those fellas, same time. So we looked at each other and we're like, okay, Billy was 5 when he was killed. And that kind of gave us the shivers, of course. And then we realized that both of these fellas, so we were looking for Billy, these 2 fellas were both named William.
Really?
The only 2 Williams in the crowd got 5 text messages when we called out to Billy, who was killed at the age of 5.
Woo!
One was my son, William.
Right.
He said, this tour is over. Time to head to the tavern.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, that one really creeped us out. And we were going, okay, this is an interesting one. And then there was the year we kicked off a book called Souls of Norcross, and that was 2010. And in that evening, we were scheduled to have a book launch at a little local coffee shop. And of course, we picked the Friday the 13th because we thought that would be so cute,
Of course.
Maybe not the best idea at all. But we're getting ready to launch the book. The skies are clear. There's no weather reporting or anything. We get to the coffee house, and a thunderstorm literally sparks up in downtown Norcross. Now, there could be people listening right now who remember this. Because this storm shuts the power down. It flooded Main Street, Norcross. Shopkeepers are opening their door and sweeping out water. It was such a torrential storm. Trees are going down. The power's off. It was a horrible storm. And the weatherman said on the news, we didn't see that one coming. There was no bleak
Wow.
They're like, okay, we're never going to launch a book on Friday the 13th ever again.
No, I think I wouldn't do it either.
That was a lesson learned for sure. So
I think I would not do that myself at all. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back. We'll talk about some of the stuff coming up with Sally and how she's got some events coming up there. Coming up in October. Of course, we'll be talking in October about it as well, but we want to go ahead and get previewed of that. All right, guys, will you guys be attending any 9/11 memorial events today? 17% of you say yes, 72% say no, and 11% say maybe. Back here in a moment, and I got one question we'll ask Sally when we come back. It's your question, Randall. You asked earlier. I'll do it next.
cool.
And I got Friday the 13th music playing. I got Friday the 13th theme song playing into the spot.
I got a very curious cat up here with me.
I hear it.
Golly, you're a laugh, man. She can't figure out, she's been living up here in this attic thing, and it's been too hot for us really to be up here much. I brought my lawn chair up here this morning. She's probably thinking, what the heck? Mama
Yeah.
done moved in.
This is my private place.
Mama moved in up here with you. It could be our office, kitty. I got a little like rail over the stairwell, and I told Mark, I said, I can't put any little knickknacks up there, not with a cat around. You know exactly what'll happen there.
Exactly.
She'll knock everything off.
Good morning, Anna Marie.
You know the world's not flat, because if it was, cats would have knocked everything off of it by now.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, we rescued this girl. Somebody abandoned her in a house, and they left the rental property.
Wow.
She's a pretty talented, sweet girl. So we got her, went to that unit, spay and neuter, and they got her all her stuff. It's all fixed up. And now she's got her home with us. She's pretty
Are
sweet.
you looking
She's pretty
for a
sweet.
dog trainer with
She's pretty
positive
kitty.
reinforcement to help your mom with your friends, or to have customized training in your
She's
own
pretty
home,
kitty.
or wonderful group classes? Check out
Friday the
Nice up here. It's like I'm sitting in a tree house.
Uh-oh.
I haven't lived in a house with an upstairs in years. Like over 40 years. So it's kind of interesting to be on the second floor here.
Right.
Loving these views of trees, so.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers...
What was that question you asked about September 11th? The people who say 72% no?
Oh, it was, will you be attending any 9/11 memorial events today?
I gotcha.
We got one going on tonight at the temple at Temple Avenue. They're going to be doing a candle lighting ceremony tonight.
Oh, my grandson has a baseball practice at 7 up there.
Yeah, it's going to be out here down where the.
Do they do the farmers market?
No, you know where it's at the what is it called? Let me get it here.
The library?
It's Veterans Memorial Park. It's right here on downtown. It's the park downtown. It's right next to the big funeral home.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. The American Legion usually holds a lot of events over there. And I've got to go if they're the ones holding, I got to go. They were the nicest people 2 weekends ago or on Labor Day. All right, we're coming back. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. All right, we welcome you guys back in. We've got Sally Toole with us here from Histories and Mysteries. And Randall's question to Sally is, I said everything she did and more, and he says, does she do windows?
No.
She don't. Sorry there, Randall. Mark has to take care of that.
I'll look out them with you anytime, but no, I don't clean windows.
Mark takes care of that.
Actually, Ryan, do windows.
There you go. She says she doesn't do windows.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I do laundry. That's
There you
for
go.
sure.
There you
I'm
go.
living with my son who has four sons of his own.
Oh,
You know, we're doing laundry every day.
every day. Yeah.
No time for windows. We got to focus on laundry.
Yep. Well, just think
But
if
I
you.
know how to put a new window in now. I learned how to do that this weekend.
There you go.
There you go.
That's good. Well, I tell you what, we're going to get into some of the events you got coming up for you. You guys are going to be heading to a special location that you were last year, and maybe are you guys going to be staying in the same shop? Or are you going to be?
We may be. We've also got a cabin rented up there.
Okay.
Everybody's interested in going to the Helen, Georgia area, Cleveland. We've got a friend who owns Gabby's Cabins, and we love it there. So we're probably going to we're probably going to spend a good bit of the evening, the first night, which is we're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year, of Lula Legends and Lore.
Yeah, Lula.
And the host of that event is the Lula Mercantile and Vintage Shop. And this place was built late 1800s, and it is a crazy cool shop. And the owners are just awesome to let us in there. So if anybody's interested in that, check that out. We're taking reservations now. We'll be going out at 7 p.m. for 3 nights. I've got another event that I'm producing this year as well. And that's here in the area, real close by for you Noonan folks.
Okay.
We're associated now with some little partnership going with the Page House in Turin.
Okay.
And that is a 200-year-old home that the new owners are desperately trying to save.
Right.
They did say that there was a developer set to tear it down. And they were able to save the property. And thank goodness, because this is a gem. So Turin is what they say. Turin is between Sharpsburg and Sonoy, basically.
Yep, it is.
It's real near Barbie Beach. So shout out to Miss Linda, who recently passed away, the starter of the Facebook famous Barbie Beach
Awesome.
in Turin. Say that, but we're doing a little thing where she's a caterer, and the house is a venue for weddings and stuff. So you can go there and have a pasta meal, learn how to make pasta, and then I give you the history. Then we sit down and all eat a meal together. It's lovely. But what she wants to do, the very first weekend in November 2nd, we're going to do more like a haunted house thing that night. So check out Page House on Facebook or my Facebook page, Sally Toole or Stirring Spirits. And I'll probably also be doing some stuff on the YouTube channel, which, like you mentioned, is Histories and Mysteries on YouTube. But it's going to be a fun event. We're going to open the doors to a little bit larger crowd. And the cool part is there's a lot of history that is pretty ghostly at the house. But the other angle is there might be a few zombies lingering there because the Walking Dead film's there as well.
Oh, really?
If any Walking Dead fans, they would know it as the Feral House, where they find feral humans living behind the walls.
That's right.
Of this house. And that was season 11, episode 6 filmed there. So if you're a ghost fan or a zombie fan, we've got you covered.
You got it covered. And Donnie, you forgot one thing. And if you're if you love Italian food fan,
yeah, she cooks an Alfredo from scratch. She learned how to make pasta from scratch. And then dessert for these events is a cheesecake with duck eggs. And it's the most amazing cheesecake you've ever had. Big Mark never has had a cheesecake before. He took a bite of one I brought home the other day, and the whole slice was gone before I even got a nibble. I said, "Where'd my cheesecake go?" He said, "Oh, that was really good." I said, "Yeah, it's really good."
He was like, "Oh no, oh no."
Yeah, go get more. So Big Mark's birthday is coming up Monday.
Well, happy birthday.
So I've ordered him his own cheesecake.
All right. Well, happy birthday.
I don't know anymore, but yeah, it's a really cool historic home. I recently posted several videos from inside the home. But there's a tale from the Civil War with two soldiers.
Okay.
And we were told that the two soldiers were Confederates who had just gotten lost from their regiment. Union that got lost from the regiment. And it would have been bad for the doctor of the house to bring them in.
Right.
Because that was harboring the enemy.
Exactly.
But I found out last week I had a gentleman, Mr. Blake, I think he watches your show.
Okay.
He called me. He's 81. If he's out there, hey Blake. Mr. Blake.
Mr. Blake, good morning to you.
He called me 2 weeks ago, and he said, the rumor is they weren't Union, they were Confederate, and they were deserters.
Ah.
If Dr. Page had harbored them, either way, either he harbored the enemy or he harbored deserters.
Traitors. Yeah.
So whichever way that rolled, it wasn't good for the doctor.
I like the traitor idea too. I like that one.
And so, people can hear the story and where they yelled them in the barn. They're buried nearby in the Trenton Cemetery there in Turin. And then, of course, at the end, we might say, the house might not be haunted, but of course, Dr. Page did fall down. He tumbled down the stairway, cracked his neck in the foyer, and died in the front room of the house.
That's a terrible way to go.
It could be haunted.
That's a terrible way to go. You break your neck falling down the steps.
Break your neck. And he was a man who is noted in family history as taking care of the most despicable is the word. Despicable of illnesses, which translated by family members means he took on cases that other doctors might have shunned, possibly something, a disease that he put himself at risk. He put himself at risk, helping others. And that was Dr. George Page of Page House. So we've got our Lula events, we've got our Page House event. So we've got October pretty well covered. Which Halloween falls on a Thursday, which is going to be weird this year, right? When did the kids trick or treat? On a Thursday? I guess so.
I guess they're going to do it that Thursday night.
There
Yeah.
you go. But, if you're going to have a Halloween party, which so many people just have these awesome Halloween parties, do you do it the weekend before? Or since Halloween's on a Thursday, we decided we'd still be in the Halloween spirit, so we're going to do this on Saturday, November 2nd. But Halloween can linger for the weekend.
It can. Definitely so. Well, Sally, as always, it's a pleasure having you here with us this morning. Tell everybody how to follow you, all that good stuff, and what's coming up next at Histories and Mysteries.
Right. So Histories and Mysteries on YouTube. Hey, guys, if you're out there, go back and watch some of the cool old videos. I've got one on Friday the 13th set. Recently, we've been discovering some little-known historic things right around the Noonan area, the Burby Mills, and just Monday we were at a place called Banning Mills, and we're going to be filming extensively there. And that's Histories and Mysteries on YouTube, so check it out, guys. And then, of course, you could just do Sally Toole on Facebook. Send me a message, and we do have, of course, the tour company is Georgia Location Scout, and if you contact us, you can take a history tour or a Walking Dead tour. We'll offer either, or combine them for whatever your interest of the group are.
Sounds good to me. Well, definitely follow, like, share, and subscribe. Everything with our friends at Histories and Mysteries, and we'll have Sally back again next month because it's the month of October. That's going to be a fun one.
We'll talk about some of my most beloved, I could say, ghost stories. But there are certain ones that every time you tell them, the crowd, I want to say the crowd goes wild. Really, the crowd's like, man, that's a cool story.
It definitely.
So we've got a pocket full of them, that's for sure.
Cool. We'll do that next month. Guys, back in a moment. Stay with us. More RyanORadio Penitentiary after this. All right. That's great as always.
Cool. So I'm released from the penitentiary.
You are out on good behavior for today.
Out on good behavior so far.
So far. That's up to Mark if you don't get him that cheesecake.
Yeah, he'll be down here in a minute getting me to work. I think we're going to have a work day today, but that's okay. It's cool. So So.
Oh, you're working in the yard. Okay, yeah.
I think we'll be able, for a while this summer, man, we didn't feel like doing anything.
Right.
So hot.
I know, right?
You start one project and you're sweating. It's like, I'm done. Forget it. So we're glad that it's cooled off now that we're kind of getting into doing these walls and getting the insulation in.
You getting a day pass. Randall says you're getting a day pass. A day pass. Oh, love my listeners. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Fufu, good morning to you, Amber. All right, we're going to let you go. I'll talk to you. If I don't talk to you before next month.
Next month, then. Take care, Ryan.
All right. You take care, too. All right. Bye-bye. Fufu. That's right. She get a day pass, Randall. So somebody listening to the show here told her a little history about. So we do have some people listening all over Noonan there. Pete already knew that was true, but Anna Marie's still here. Are you still here, man? Anna Marie, good morning to you. If I don't get to say hello to you guys while somebody's on air, I'm going to say hello now. Usually when I got an interview, I can't really just stop and go, hey, I got to say, shut up, everybody. Anna Marie's here. I'm just kidding. She knows. That's why I'm using her as an example. You better still be here, Anna Marie. Guys, hit that like button. Get that up. Get it going. I was looking at my numbers on my YouTube page yesterday. I'm close enough to getting some stuff from YouTube, but got a lot. I got 7.1K views since totaled or something like that. Something was good. And I was looking at people viewing me that are not followers. There's a large percentage of people that watch this show that's not even following the page. Welcome back in. If you're not following the page, like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube because there's a large number of you watching the show on YouTube. All right, guys, will you be attending any 9/11 memorial events today? 19% say yes, 70% say no, 11% say maybe. That maybe is probably going to be watching the TVs and stuff. We will have, following Health, Happiness, and Harmony coming up at the top of the hour, Dr. Lewis Boynton. We're going to have a special 9/11 tribute on the dial from 11 to noon. And then from 12 to 2 is the Rod Peterson Show. 2 to 3, the Sports Beat, Richard Holders, and 3 to 5, Braves Country Radio Live. 5 to 6 will be the Rick Smith Show. 6 to 8 will be we're gonna have the Crowded Booth, and then 8 to 9 is the Chris Palmy Talk Show. And then of course tomorrow night we're gonna have the Alabama University Coaches Show at 9 to 11 tomorrow night. All right, some other stuff on the docket. An exhibit's coming up at the 2024 Blackwell Prize in Painting. Charlie Palmer from the University of West Georgia's Cultural Laboratory at the University of West Georgia. October 1st through the 25th, Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. It's at the Vault Gallery at the Wadsworth Auditorium here in Noonan. Blackwell Trust. That event's going to start in October. And I went by yesterday and saw some great things there as well. Yeah, they got some exhibits up and everything. Want to thank the Wadsworth Auditorium. Want to thank Christina and Chad from over there. Thank you very much. All right, tomorrow morning we're going to talk about some true crime. We'll have Elizabeth Sarles joins us tomorrow. We'll have another unsolved homicide in small town USA, this time in Peach County, Georgia, is where we're going to be featuring it. The author of The Birthday Bash, a book about her brother's unsolved homicide. She will be our guest tomorrow on True Crime Thursday. And we'll talk about some more sports. Get ready for your Thursday night football game of the week, and we'll get everything ready. Today was our 9/11 show. It's mainly, I focused in on 9/11. Why? Because it's a very, very significant day in history. Significant day in history. Thank you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Help the Rhino out with $RyanShelander in my cash out. Also want to thank one of my brothers for sending some money over. That's right. Thank you very much. Yes, I got it. I let him know. Thank you very much. I had a donation sent over. Thank you there to one of our wonderful listeners. He was the guy, if you don't remember, he got married a few days when he just came on the feed and he was getting married that afternoon. Got married in a hot air balloon. If you guys remember who I'm talking about. Thank him for sending over. All right, tonight, AEW Dynamite will be All Out, Aftermath, John Moxley live, Maria May, the AEW Women's Champion, defending against Queen Amara, Bryan Danielson, BCC, the Elite, everybody. It's going to be kind of boring, but we'll see how it goes. Also, I got 8 hours to go, said Fufu. 8 hours to go where? Patriot, watch hours are hard to hit, Ryan. Does live stream count for watch hours? Live stream does count for, it's the biggest part of it. So I was looking at the live hours, and I was looking at how many people. I got a whole lot of people at times. I'm going to be honest with you. It gets up to 2.1K views. And then throughout the whole day sometimes. And then there's like, when I get off, there may be, they say at a time, people that are live, they're watching up to 800 to 900 or 1,000 people watching at a time that are watching at a time. And then like 800 of that is live, and 200 of that is, or 800 of that is people that are subscribed, and 200 of that is people that are not subscribed. So, oh, you got 8 hours to go for work, Fufu. Tell them I said you need the day off and pay you anyway. So yeah, it's getting pretty good, guys. You guys are helping out a lot. You just don't know. We have a good time on here. And look, it works out great. I had a subscriber come up and raise the colors. Little Minuteman and training. Nice kid, 17-year-old. Oh, Minuteman. We got to get that Minuteman, Mountain Minuteman moment put on this show here. We got to do that, Patriot. And Terry C's he's out of the state. He's over there in Alaska. He's out of the states. He's in Alaska, still in the United States, but out of the land portion. And so we got to do some truck driver stuff too. Remember me? I'm going to watch that video. That movie. I'm going to check it out. Tell him I said, oh, she said, okay, I will have all out. There you go. All right. So I think we got it going on. The Continental Classic. It's the Continental Championship. Oh, wait a minute. AEW Continental Championship. You said Continental. I remember that. Significant day for sure, my brother. It is. I will always do that as long as I'm in the broadcasting business. I'll always do a day dedicated to this because there's going to be a time where people don't even remember it, guys. It's going to be a time where it's just ancient history. So we've got to teach it to our youth because I don't know if they teach it in school or not. I will look that up for you. The Islam is 2611. I'll look that up. You got to know sweet. You got to really, Randall. How much you want for it? I don't want it, but if you want to sell it, we'll try to sell it for a couple million. They won't pay it, but we can say it's worth it. We can say Pee Wee Herman wrote it or something. Not for sale. Jack coming. We could have said Pee Wee Herman's wrote it and get a lot of money off of it. Say he wrote it to that movie theater. Oh Lord. Fufu says they said no. We need you blast and laugh out loud. Dang. Thought it would work. Tell them I said it. They're supposed to let you off. What's up, Sister Cher? Says have a great day. You have a great day too, Cher. Oh man, I have to start streaming live. I'll call it Gun Law. Oh yeah. Do that. Still have an 88. Oh, well, what we need to do is say Pee Wee Herman wrote all of them. Yeah, you definitely need to stream live if you want to get more on yours. FIFA says, bah, you're laughing. They're laughing at me. Tell them that I said they couldn't laugh at me. A war room. I like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to say. If you got one you want to get rid of, brother Randall, we'll say Pee Wee Herman wrote it. I mean, it was his bike. People don't have to know if it's true or not. I mean, they believe a lot of other stuff, right? So there you go. All right, we're going to get out of here. Remember what this day is all about. We thank you guys for being with us. Peace, love, respect. I'm out of here. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the flip side of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. And guess what? Be good to one another. Treat one another with the utmost respect. Stay tuned for Health, Happiness, and Harmony with the good Dr. Louis Moynton. He looks like he's going to a Grateful Dead concert over here, guys. Captain Hot Bun says, TV, Herman loves movie theater. Pee Wee Herman loves movie theaters. Yeah, he does. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned for Health, Happiness, and Harmony Hour with the Grateful Dead. Dr. Lewis is next back tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We'll go ahead and get this knocked off here first, and then we'll get you guys. Anna Marie, you come in talking last there out of it. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. And all the people that are listening and watching from Noonan and even beyond, stay tuned for the second most longest running radio show on this network. It's coming up next. You guys need to stay tuned. Sally told me that she got a call from somebody in the area about that house over there. She was talking about this morning and said it was Confederate soldiers, traitors that were killed or something like that. All right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.